that just blew out my speaker.
That's how we started off. And on try number 3. Okay, act natural. Act natural.
How are you, Doug? Been a long time.
Man, it's been forever. If only we could just subtly recreate what we had said, but now that I bring it up, it's kind of meta.
Whoa.
Where it was
free-flowing.
Scene opens. Yeah, the intro music is fading, and you hear, and the listener hears you say, "Oh, hey, hi, didn't see you there."
Are you reading from our script or what? You're not supposed to read those prompts.
Oh my gosh.
People think that this is just an improvisational conversation between us.
I explained that at the beginning. Okay, start over. No. It's so they all have, I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this episode, you're probably on the 3rd tier paying us $50 a month on Patreon, where every week we call you and tell you all that you're
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And wake you up every morning and remind you
socialism is when no car.
So, and
I'm recording again.
Okay. And you're recording again.
I am.
Okay. We've been running into a lot of issues. I'm pretty sure it's the Republican Party in a coordinated, inauthentic behavior.
Yep.
Coordinated inane blather, right?
Oh,
CIB.
the CIB. You done with CIB?
LOL. LMFAO. Bruh.
And so we're going to finally get to whatever we were talking about. Maybe
the weather?
Totally date ourselves. You were talking about the weather and how nice it was.
It's a beautiful fall day today. It was very sunny. You can see the mountains. They've got snow on them. It's lovely and really cold, but clear. So, what's it like over there?
Here,
you just had a huge windstorm.
Yeah, over here, it's socialism is when no fall, okay? So it just went straight to, I mean, it's cold right now. It's it's 37 right now, as we're recording it. But I mean, in just a few nights, it's going to be about 17 degrees at night. It's crazy.
It's supposed to be 26 here. Yeah.
But yeah, the change from our nice weather to this involved a windstorm with sustained gusts of 70 plus miles an hour that blew a tree into my house and broke half of a tree from my yard onto my neighbor's house and destroyed our fence and almost smashed my truck and took out a power line, and there was a swinging power line in the window.
Our pets'
heads are falling off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but there was 200,000 people without power here for I know someone for a couple days. He didn't have power. I know.
No. Yeah, I didn't have power for 12 hours because that was just a straight up me and the other 2 houses next to me at the end of our little cul-de-sac thing, just part of a locust tree was just hanging in the power lines in the wind. And it's been it was gonna be a really nice kind of laid back weekend for me, and instead my backyard is filled with with future firewood for my wood stove.
Yeah.
So, which is nice because it's getting so goddamn cold. I hate
Where's this global warming when you need it? Am I right, folks? LOL.
I don't know. It's creating that fucking hurricane in the inland northwest. That's what it's doing. Jesus criminy.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets really windy here.
And it's not very windy here.
Yeah, it gets windy here where I live, every year, but not like that. The entire the little town that I live in was like destroyed. No, it was just
blew
like
away.
every block, had just fallen branches all over the place. I saw a couple, man, just a block down from me. They had these neighbors, I go past their house all the time. They had just finished their little fence around their place, and what had to have been, it's like a 40 or 50 foot tall like pine tree fell over directly onto the fence. I'm glad it didn't hit their house. It landed in their side yard, but just a big old tree, roots up in the air.
Big old tree.
Yeah, it was like a big old, like, whoa, look at that big
Thick
boy.
with 2 C's. Ooh.
Yeah.
Stop.
Okay, sorry. But
let's go to Doug. Doug is the guy you go to around here.
yeah. And so for the current weather, I'll say
Suck me from the back.
that's all I'm thinking. We almost got snow this morning even, and it's fucking November 8th or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's November 8th. Today is election day. Of course, oh yeah, today is election day, and it's important.
This is politics.
There you go.
This is politics.
It is.
Okay, Natalie.
But politics are life. That's what.
Stupid.
I mean, yeah.
What the fuck?
That's life. That's what all the people
Yeah.
say.
Life is stupid and inane, and you might as well blather on into the sunset.
He said it.
Shut up! Shut up! But and so during the multiple takes that we've done so far, we were already kind of getting to.
Maybe you can cut all
some
these takes
good-
together so it makes it sound like we know what we're talking about.
No,
Oh.
I've already deleted a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's
so
probably for the best.
we've already hit some good black-pilled nihilism. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we all knew it wasn't going to be good for the Democrats. I hardly even like the Democrats, so how good could they possibly be? But, I mean, the GOP is absolutely insane. They're just getting worse every year.
Yeah, it's really
it's really
disappointing.
bad. I look at the GOP and I just think,
These people are sick.
yeah, he said it. That's the guy who said it.
These people are sick.
But,
Like,
I mean,
what they count as like
to flush their toilet 15 times.
someone
No,
who's a
sorry.
candidate for the GOP. Like over here, there's this woman, Tiffany Smiley.
so, oh yeah.
She's running, and it's like
She's running
so-
for a U.S. Senate seat.
for the Senate
Yeah.
seat against this long-term U.S. senator from Washington
Patty Murray.
State. Yes, she's been there a long time. Tiffany Smiley.
Don't worry,
like, her
that
thing
won't
is, like,
dox me, people knowing that I live in Washington State. So you can name them. It's okay. No.
Yeah, I figured Washington State's kind of a big place,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like her.
I'll even give a clue to some of the people and say my U.S. representative is Dan Newhouse. So now someone will find me. No,
Yeah.
some random person.
Yeah,
They're like, he lives in Washington
make
District
their
4.
life's work to find you. To help you. They're like, so you had some firewood?
He lives
Yeah.
somewhere between Wenatchee and the Tri-Cities.
Yeah. I'll find him.
Anyway, but so Tiffany Smiley,
Smiley's-
she's got like some ads over there.
No, I mean, just like her whole claim to politics is that her husband is blind.
Is blind.
He's a blind veteran, and so it's like, so what? What does that mean about legislation or policy? That doesn't have
I
anything
know.
to do with anything besides that you love your husband. Wow, you should run America.
Cool.
I don't.
Well, yeah, fine. I'll run against you and just say that I hate your husband. So
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's just as meaningful. It's just like what
exactly.
they count for,
Because
like,
I don't hate her
legislation.
husband. He looks
and,
like a nice guy. He's got
Yeah.
that. He
Not
has this
that he
really
would know what he
weird
looks
1,000-yard
like. Oops,
stare.
no.
No, just kidding.
That's very ableist. I don't feel that guilty. He's a Republican. Whatever. He's not as people as we are. But
it's fine. Your favorite artist is Stevie Wonder. You can say whatever you want. So
Yeah,
that's
right?
the way
He's-
that politics works.
my favorite artist is blind and black. I got a pass for everything.
This is politics.
No. But it's like, that's what the Republican platform, it's legitimately just bullshit.
Aesthetics.
Like, they don't have any sort of, like, substantial anything. The stuff that their platform is just nothing. It's totally devoid of any sort of meaning.
It is. Substance.
Of, like, what are you...
Yeah,
like, what are you campaigning on? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I'm here for America. And it's, again, like, satire is dead with some of these, because it's like, you're not saying
did you see
anything.
Rick...
Not that I disagree, it's that you're not saying anything.
No, even, was it Rick Scott, or one of the top GOP guys? That was just recent, where he got pressed on, like, CBS This Morning or something like that. I was just kind of listening to the Majority Report, I think, but them literally saying, let's say you guys take the Senate after Election Day. What's the first legislation you guys are going to pass that could get on Joe Biden's desk that he'll sign? And he just spouted off some campaign talking points from the inane platform that the GOP has right now, and said nothing. It's like, pretty much just admitted, well, they don't have any legislation plan. Most of you guys are already in the Senate. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and that's the thing, is that the only GOP members that have, like, substantial plans and stuff are kooks in the House. Like,
kooks in the House.
Ones that have the ones that aren't just gas bags of talking points, like, have some seriously gross fascist or, like,
anti-Semitic,
anti-choice type of things, like, or, like, I mean, you know, if you find ones and can point to actual legislation or policy proposals, the only ones of substance are literally, like, don't allow trans kids to compete in sports or something. It's like, what the fuck?
Exclusionary politics, like, exclusively.
And honestly,
exclusively exclusionary.
And that makes me wish. Yeah. Just, that makes me wish that more of them would actually have some substance to their platform, so that they could stop running on aesthetics and people would hear it and be like, oh shit, like, these people are, I don't know, that's a bit much for me, you know? I mean, there are some very vocal, rabid people on each side, but especially on the side of the right, as in right wing, of the culture war. But that is not very representative of the voting public at large, especially, like, I mean, just older people.
But look at
whether
Trump.
It's economically or culturally. Yeah, and he can't fucking swing a popular vote either. The guy's a dunce.
I know. A dunce with, like, 74 million people who follow him.
Yeah, look at Trump, who gets elected on mostly aesthetics, and then once he actually has some time in office, doesn't get reelected, no matter what he says. But it's like, even casting aside all of the terrible, undemocratic rhetoric that's coming from them, which is why I don't want to, you know, and honestly, okay, tangent, it's all coming together at the same time. I'm done with Twitter. I'm off. I'm not going to share the show on Twitter.
Not going to spend $8 a month.
Well, yeah, that on top of just how algorithmically, like, the type of people that are on it now, fine. You guys can turn it into another Truth Social so you can be in your echo chamber that you don't enjoy being in. I'm done. I don't... Anyway, so, and it's, like, the rapidity in which these fraudulent election claims get disseminated amongst the public through this so-called media, if it so can be called, via Twitter, is
heretofore.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
seems pretty satanic.
I mean, like, it's like, I can sit here and rag on the Democrats and their piece of shit platform and their complete lack of charisma or any form of leadership,
dog-brained Democrats.
and rag on the GOP for just straight fascist rhetoric and all of that. But the election denial stuff, just the absolute lack of care for democracy, like actual just rhetorical attacks on democracy. The fact that it's a common NPC conservative talking point to say, well, we're not actually a democracy. Shut the fuck up. What do you have against democracy, huh? Like, why isn't that, like, that used to be just a good enough idea in itself to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and say, that's why we're in Iraq, to spread democracy. Or that's why we did this. It's for freedom of choice. It's for democracy. We're the world's greatest democracy. That used to be the go-to nationalist garbage. We're the strongest democracy. And now they've literally given it up as a talking point, let alone something that they actually might care about. It makes me sick.
It's because
my gosh.
Yeah, there is no depth at all on any Republican talking points. That's
Thanks
exactly
a lot,
what
Puritans.
That's exactly what I was saying. Because they don't know what democracy is, they don't know what a republic is, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're from America. They went to school in America, and they just are racist, sexist, brainwashed,
headstrong,
misinformed,
stubborn, quibbling, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, evil, thieving, bigoted jerks.
Yeah,
so,
wish they could be cross-dressing jerks.
Yeah, they might change their perspective.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. I don't want to just interrupt you and just scream into the microphone for an hour straight. But it's like, I disagree. I think because the very basics of democracy, we still are taught in school. And these people do know basically what a democracy is, wherein votes are counted and the majority makes decisions. They do know even the basics, and they reject that as a good idea. That's the point that we're at. That people literally say, no, we're a republic, democracy is mob rule, yada, yada, yada. We're not even a popular democracy in the first place, you're right. But these people on the right now, ever since losing some elections, want to take their ball and go home like little fucking babies and completely cast aside the entire idea of America itself as a thriving democracy in any way whatsoever. It's disgusting.
It's because of racism.
Cuba
and stuff.
is 10 times more democratic than we are. And I mean, any leftist worth their salt knows that because it's a socialist, democratic, republic type thing. That's why it is. But it's that's what should be a huge red flag for liberals, in America, or liberal conservatives and stuff like that, where it's no, you're going the wrong way. Do you want to be more democratic, or do you want to be like Russia with this faux democracy republic garbage? What do you want?
I've been exactly thinking that about if you were telling American history and you just replaced the names of leaders with Russian-sounding names and places, locations with Russian-sounding ones, and didn't change the actual facts of the matter of what happened, everyone would totally believe that it was Russia. Our police and military spending, the lack of actual, people getting their right to vote taken away in these different states like Georgia, places with this ethnic minority
through just
being oppressed
corrupt
and stuff. If you read that
governmental means.
Yeah. If you read that about Russia, everyone would be totally believe it, 100%, that's fucking Russia all the way. That's America, the way the especially like police brutalizing people, being very punitive and stuff, that's other countries that we totally look down our nose on, and the places that we want to bring democracy to, or we used to want to, that is exactly us with less, but we have a lot more like, I don't know, TVs or something, so it doesn't show as much because we have more
These
like
people are
material better material conditions, and we don't live in Russia.
At a
It's because
very
we have like California.
shallow level.
Because we have Florida, we can't be like Russia.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but you know
wrong.
what? Some people living in Kansas are living in worse conditions than someone in St. Petersburg. You know, but that's a different conversation. But
I mean,
just
because it's not cold and dark and all that kind of crap doesn't mean it can't be horrible. It's like America's really making me fucking sad lately, because that's what I said the other day.
Late-stage capitalism.
Exactly. Venezuela, Cuba, whatever you want to use these as an examples of socialism done wrong, and you look at America as capitalism done right. And this is what happens. It's awful. It's inequality. Seattle has 8 billionaires that live in Seattle with an accumulated wealth of $255 billion. That is more than the GDP of Finland. That is 8 people that have a total amassed wealth of a nation that, guess what? You know what? They don't have fucking homelessness epidemics. We have 8 people that have that kind of money, and we have 10,000 people on the streets, here. It's really just like the veneer of America.
Yeah, but you know why?
Because
you guys elected a socialist city council member. That's why.
Yeah, that's why everything went to shit.
Because you were phone banking for a socialist. It's your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because our minimum wage is so high. Oh my God, it's gonna be so fucking bad. Even at the most and going back to democracy too. That's what's even more frustrating is that with my belief in democracy, even just taking the very filtered and basic representative democracy that we have and how it isn't very good democracy, but it's still important, like just my belief in democracy itself, like democracy as an idea of a just system is what led me down the path of believing that I am in some ways a socialist, right? Mm-hmm. I'll just never come out of the closet and fully admit it. I'm a democratic socialist, right? No, but that's why I'm a democratic socialist, because of my belief in democracy. And it's like, but so when our asses get kicked in a year like this, I have to accept that. But what makes it so frustrating is that it's because we don't have good enough democracy. Like, I fully do not believe that that the GOP sweeping across the nation in a midterm election truly is representative of what the people want, let alone what the people need. I don't want to take an authoritarian stance on what the people need because of my belief in democracy. But it's like, you go down the list, between gerrymandering, public disinformation and propaganda through right-wing channels, just the billionaire class and corporate ownership of the media, and all that leads to the results of our quote-unquote democratic decision-making being skewed undemocratically. And it's like, I'm not going to, all our votes will get counted here in Washington. I'm not going to complain that we didn't do it right, but it sucks that the people who win are the people that don't believe in democratic rule. Like, that's like just definitionally unfair in my mind in terms of just the way in which our society is formed, like governmentally and stuff. It's
What do you think? We live in a society? What do we say, Doug? We live in an economy.
Yeah.
The free market will balance all of this out.
And that's why I'm a democratic socialist, is that I believe that the economy should be democratized. But it's like, it sucks that it's this inherent problem in my worldview or my ideology, is that my belief in the democratic process is the one thing that really plants a flag where I don't want it to be planted, of where they go low, we go high. I hate that. I hate taking the high road with this stuff, but it's definitionally, it has to be that way. Like, if I want to have belief in the democratic process, then if the people I want to win lose, that's the way it goes, as long as there wasn't full-scale cheating. But the worst thing is that the people that are winning are taking the low road, and if they lose, they are going to cast doubt on the democratic process. It's a lose-lose situation, you know?
The system to begin with, yeah, you can accept the results and blah, 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 whatever. But the system that gets these candidates elected and who can even run and the gerrymandering and all that, it's just...
So I said it's not a good democratic process in the first place. Yeah.
At all. And it's just so obvious. And that's why I'm a simp for socialism and for a new party, a working class party, which would encompass, people are not Democrat or Republican. They're just
a
working
labor
people
party
trying to get by. Yes, that's what the people that I've been talking to lately, that's their kind of goal, is a new party for working people, because the Democrats are not for
But we need
people.
systemic
The Republicans
change
are
first.
not for working people.
Need complete and total systemic change in our democratic process, because otherwise any third party only works for the benefit of those already with the hegemonic power.
It's called The Socialist Alternative. It's a newspaper. And
that's not a bag of cat food?
New political... No, that was earlier. I kicked that off my bed.
You guys hear about this? You see this? It's called the Socialist Alternative.
Yeah. All right, what do we got here?
Fiber.
Yeah. Ever had cat food? Tastes just like it smells. Delicious.
People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
Yeah. I don't use a toilet when I eat cat food, Doug. I use a litter box. But a new political party for working people. And it is about laborers. It's about racial justice, obviously economic justice and all that. It's really interesting because it really is how could the Democratic Party help the majority of people? What their interests they are just corporate shills. It's just obvious by the policies that they create or don't enact, or the way that they don't work for people. How can they be shifted with enough time because of climate change and because people are legitimately dying in the streets from police brutality? These street sweeps of homeless, unhoused people, it's fucking disgusting the amount of money that they put in to getting people off the streets that are laying there shivering and cold. It's fucking cold, like we were just saying. It's really cold really early. People live on the streets here that... So how if the Democrats in Seattle...
Yeah.
Yeah, in Seattle, if this is the way they are, Jesus Christ. We're supposed to be some, liberal bastion, and, this is the way that Democrats... They won't even... what I was phone banking for was to raise the Amazon tax, which is the tax, this top businesses. It's $140 million, which is, what is that? That's nothing. That's nothing for Amazon. One time they got $130 million.
That's how much I make an hour. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, no. And but it isn't. Seattle has an $8 billion budget. It's huge. And for them, it's it's so fucking obvious if you ever read fucking newspaper article what the people are wanting. They're wanting Amazon to pay their share. And Democrats are doing nothing. They're not being progressive. They're not the party of progressives. And again, it's like, so what do you want? Like, what kind of society do you want to live in? You want to just keep funding money to the police? I mean, like, what are you thinking? They're not. They're just thinking about appeasing legitimately, like, these corporations, their corporate interests, because that is who they're appeasing. That's who their constituents really are, because they don't care. It doesn't affect them. Working class stuff doesn't fucking affect them at all. No matter what even council members and stuff, it's like, should be real people at this point still, you know? I mean, like, you're not the president, but they still are. I just don't really get it. It's like, why are you even in office? Like, what, to make money? Because that's a weird place to do it as a
otherwise
public
then it's
servant.
like, that's what sucks. It's like, well, otherwise who's going to do it? Someone who already has money? Because you need to make money to live, because we live under capitalism.
Totally.
And that's why when you have to choose,
make legislation should be well compensated, because that seems like a really fucking hard job and everything, but it should be about the people. I told them today when I called in support of this bill, I was like, other people are saying thank you for letting me speak. I was like, you're welcome for my comment, because your position as a council member is meaningless without people to represent. So it's like,
and they were all
this
like,
is literally your job to listen. It's really weird to call in because you're just talking and it's total silence.
What's the point of you being here if not listening to your constituents? Except that's the norm for so many public officials across the country. That's why choosing between the Democrats and the Republicans just makes you think
democracy simply doesn't work.
But, what I was going to say,
I'm looking at the election results.
The problem is, so we're talking about, we need a different party. Of course, it's not going to work unless there's systemic change to our democratic process itself, right? Because our first past the post voting system and blah, blah, blah. Anyone who listens to this garbage already knows all that. That's whatever you were talking about for you.
That's a good one.
Awesome.
That's
awesome
rich.
To the max.
That's rich. So the only viable way to create a good labor movement, have a party of working class values or something more democratic, is to reshape the Democratic Party. And they fucked it all up when they pushed out Bernie and shat on AOC. Like, that was their chance, really. Because the only way to really have, any sort of pushback that is meaningful, that doesn't engage in culture war garbage and simply serves the capitalist class like they currently do, just like the Republicans, the only way to do that is to get the Democratic Party itself moving towards like social democracy, at least, which is like, and as I was thinking that, I was like, Bernie Sanders, like the only like social Democrat.
He asked for 30
and it's
years
like,
ago.
And it's like, I mean, why can't, that's what needs to happen, is to move that party itself, because that's the only one that has any sort of foothold that we can work with. And they can't get it through their stupid, geriatric, thick-headed, billionaire fucking soft skulls that,
light bulb heads.
These Democrats can't get it through their head that it's like, the reason that you're also constantly fucking losing like a bunch of fucking losers is because you don't cater to that. Yeah. That's why, like, you barely hold on, even though you really do often preach to 70% of the voting public. Yeah. Except you fucking lose all the time because you make people apathetic, because you push people out that are progressive. Because it's like, where do progressive people go? What am I gonna? It's like Lucy with the fucking football with this party. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I don't know. Apathetic. All the way back to Bill Clinton, like, set all this in motion. I mean, Obama wasn't any better, because he was so progressive and got elected because of other circumstances, You know, I mean, it's a big movement and stuff, but you know what? His policy positions really got people going in 2008. And guess what? He didn't do any of it. Right? And it's like, and he got held back from doing it, not from the Republicans, but from the Democratic Party. Like, that's why Obamacare sucks and we didn't get universal health care. That's why, like,
Don't
like
take
his
too
whole
much of the blame
tenure.
away from Mitch McConnell and them.
No, I'm saying,
totally
like,
shutting down the government
when
and
they were
stuff.
in control, like, they could have done so much. And people like me, you know, who I'm sure there were tons of. There were people that voted for Obama that voted for Trump later. But it's like people that voted like based on what he wanted to do. And for me, I didn't vote for him in 2012. I was like, he didn't do anything. It's just more of the same crap. Like,
Obama?
I voted for change. Yeah, I voted exactly. And it's like they just constantly do this. Like, and oh my God, there's
feel
just
like,
so
though,
many things I go on.
The Republicans, though, they shifted to the right, so why can't we shift to the left? Like, they took the Tea Party. That was like the beginning of this shift, like very concerted, intentional effort to the right. Like,
right-wing populism,
so
which is just fascism, so...
yeah, which is happening all over the world, too. It's going to become an issue in some of these other European countries, too. But because we got all this soft power and, like, you know, it's a power vacuum is happening because America is just, like, being exposed, like, with our pants down on the world stage, and we got a little dick after all. Like, it turns out we're not all that we said.
He pulled your pants down in front of all those people, pointed out your penis.
He made you look like a little boy.
We'll stay together while the kids are in school, but they will not respect you. That's what it's like.
I will not respect you, and I'll make
America
sure that
right
they don't
now.
either.
Yeah, exactly. No, what you had said at the beginning, though, like, yes, like, people complain about, oh, it's just getting more polarized, more divided. It's like, no, it needs to get more balanced. I don't care how fucking polarized it is. You know what? If it gets bad and there's some sort of civil war, at least let us be fighting for something that's good, that we want to have, like, not...
I don't want to just fight against Nazis.
Just like, I don't want to be on the side of conservative neocons fighting Nazis. Like, who fucking cares? Just nuke us already.
Kill myself.
Exactly. And it's just like, at least, there needs to be a further push to the left. It needs to happen. It is electorally, like, not even just, it's not even viable. It's necessary. And the talk of further polarization and further division is just more crap from the entrenched capitalist owner class to keep us from pushing to the left like we should be. Like, it just... And this is all...
Well, I think it's...
This
you know
is all without
to?
checking any of these results, which I'm just sure we're just...
It's the auto industry, because, as we all know, socialism...
is when...
Mental illness is when you're right-wing.
No. Socialism is when no car.
Don't quote me on that, though.
But I'm pretty sure that was Marx who said it. So, I mean, if you read Capital Volume 1, if you read the Communist Manifesto, does he ever mention cars? No.
Good point.
It's a fantastic point.
There's no other way to describe that. I was thinking, Democrats make you apathetic because they are pathetic.
Let's
quote me on that, though.
Let's change the subject, just so it isn't too. I'm sure. No, I'm just. Yeah, that was really good. I'm sorry, but.
And scene.
Change the subject.
Let's change. No, I just wanted to
actually,
because you were on fire, and so I wanted to put a stop to that. No, what were you gonna say? You said actually.
What were you gonna say?
Come on.
You know what?
Oh, that's what I was going to do. You know
let's
what I was going to
about-
say?
Everyone is stupid except me.
And that's that. Well, I had a couple things written down. Yeah. That's another t-shirt right there. See, we just have these random quotes with the picture that I drew of the crazy guy's face. So it's completely off-putting. So it's like that guy's face, and it says social, or just that guy's face, and it says socialism.
And it's like, it's like anti-marketing.
Yeah, that's so cringe. I want two of them.
That's how anti-capitalist we are. Is all of our like merch and stuff. No one wants to buy it because it's so ugly. Because we're like, we don't want to contribute to like materialism. We refuse
to make a profit. And I made these shirts by hand, and that's why they're terrible. This is a large? It's like, I don't know what these sizes are. Yeah. Like, this is a tent, and the other large barely fits my dog. Yeah, well, dog. Socialism is when no t-shirt, all right, bitch? So, just because I was going to say I don't want to date it too much with election talk, but it's not going to be dated because we're going to be right. The Democrats are going to get their asses kicked.
Patty Murray won, so.
Well, yeah. Smiley. She's not going to. I didn't even see enough smiley signs around here in red country, so I was like, yeah.
I'm in red country right here, right in this little spot, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not as, but.
Over in our area, we get. I see the signs for Clint Didier. He's been running for every conceivable position and losing over and over again.
I still see Trump
he used to play for
signs.
the Pittsburgh Steelers or something like that. So
that's his platform. I used to be a football player. My husband's blind.
I played football for. He played for like Connell or something, like some little town, and now he's just a right wing nut job. It's like, I'm sure he just has money from something, and so now he wants to make sure to change policy to get more money. But
he's probably a farmer. Seriously.
So let's no, his name's Clint. That's not a farmer name. No.
That's not a countryman's name.
Yeah, his name's Clint. I think he must be from inner city Philadelphia. But so as a quick a quick change with no good segue.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
No, but I did write because last time I was like, man, I didn't write down any funny thoughts at all. But I thought, you know that guy from Dirty Jobs, Mike Rowe? And now he's he's just
right-wing nut job?
Total, he's just a conservative dipshit.
Entitled white guy, yeah.
I was thinking of all those, how celebrities get their iCloud accounts hacked. And I said, if someone hacked the Dirty Jobs guy, we would all see a micro penis.
Nice. I like that. I like that joke a lot. Whenever I would say microwave, like a microwave.
Oh,
yeah, we would be
the guy from Dirty Jobs.
Me and my ex would be like wave at each other and say something in his voice, like
or I thought it would be like a tiny wave, like a little tiny wave to each other.
It was like a microwave, like
okay,
welcome back or whatever.
Howdy.
Yeah, Dirty Jobs.
What are you guys doing down here?
Yeah,
looks like a real dirty job. Like, stop waving at us, Mike. I was thinking more microwave is like instead of like new wave. It's like you all dress like Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. It's a real hip style. It's microwave.
Yeah.
And then someone just shows up dressed like a microwave, and they're like, "Oh, you don't get it." He's like, "I'm ahead of the times. I'm wearing a wardrobe box.
I'm ahead of
sideways."
The times.
Yeah. And another thing, I just liked the assonance. What?
I want to say about the microwave costume, and then I was going to say about the popcorn setting.
Oh.
But then I didn't have this fully. So, work with me about it being a cock porn setting. Because that's what we always would say.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except for, you know what I realized? That's not what you would say. It would be cop porn. for popcorn.
Ooh, I've seen
We've been
cock
saying it wrong
porn.
our whole lives.
Yeah, but cock porn's
I've
funnier.
seen it. Yeah,
but
it is funnier. So there's a cock porn button on that microwave.
And you know what? This conversation.
This is politics.
That's what I know.
This is politics.
Our conversation is probably more this cock porn conversation is more intelligent, has more depth to it than Tiffany Smiley's entire platform.
Creativity to me is just like it's like a bird, like a friendly bird that embraces all
the campaign
ideas, and just like shoots out of its eyes all kinds of beauty.
Sit down.
But okay, another thing. I was just gonna say, I don't know. I wish I gave it more context, but I just wrote the phrase "culture pulse."
That sounds like
yeah, it's got a sound
Jordan
to
Klepper.
it. Yes, I think that might have been where I thought of it. Yeah, because he fingers the pulse, and I was like, I think it was a cross between that. I was thinking of that because there was something about because of the culture beat. You know, it's on the if you're writing about culture and stuff. And then I thought of fingers of pulse is like culture pulse.
Culture pulse.
Yeah, I think it's funny to say. Yeah, exactly.
It's like Kelsey and my idea for another
Yawn Talk.
radio talk show. Yeah, well, there's Yawn Talk, but then there's our art hour.
Yeah?
Our art hour.
Our
Yeah.
art
It's an
hour.
That's right. Exactly. It's a fun one. It comes right after Yawn Talk.
You're so selfish and stupid when you do that.
Oh, Hassan. You know you would
he's
like
so
it.
So judgmental. He would love it.
Okay, Natalie.
All right.
Okay, calm down. We'll
I
talk
need
about
to
this
see
later.
a dick.
Oh, that's why he's upset.
I need to see a dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is politics.
But so why do all of these right-wingers seem to cling on? Oh, I just remembered. I remembered doing this with talk to text. So let's see how this turned out.
Oh yeah.
Why do all these right-wingers seem to cling on to and claim facts and logic and being truthful and scientific when it's also obvious that lying for money is a very encouraged and even integral part of capitalism itself?
Yeah,
so much of
like, why do they try to
capitalism
hide it?
for them and free markets, it's like, oh, it's all about the facts. That's how it all comes down to the facts. This is how things work. This is how the economy works. This is how life works and transactions and capitalism. But it's like, but if that's the case, it's just a fact about capitalism that lying for profit is ideal,
way to make
almost.
capital?
Yeah, exactly. And that's
way.
kind of what you guys do that I'm thinking of, like Ben Shapiro or something like that.
No. Wrong. No. But
Mental
they do.
illness is when you're right
They're
wing.
They're truth tellers, Doug. What people lying for profit are people like
Matt Walsh. Did you see that?
AOC
Did you
on Joe Rogan.
on Roe Jogan? Oh my
Roe
God!
Jogan. He's
You
like,
know-
I love your documentary. I jerk off to it all the time.
No,
It's like,
when he got
okay, you don't know
fact
what a
checked
woman
by
is?
Joe Rogan the other day.
I can't really watch a lot of Matt Walsh. She's too horrible.
I've
get
only
really,
seen this
really,
filtered
really
through other
angry.
things. But there's I recommend, of course, as always, the Majority Report. When they were talking about it, honestly, Sam Cedar got so fired up. He had one of his very rare F-bombs. And it was because Matt Walsh is going on just the most basic fucking question from Bro Jogan. Just like, well, how many kids do this? How many kids are on hormone blockers? Was the puberty blockers and hormone therapy. And Matt Walsh, he was like, well, someone's going to fact check me on this, but I mean, it's in the millions. It's in the millions at this point by now. And he's like, wow, really? He's, even Joe Rogan, he's like, in the millions? Really? And he's like, yeah. And it's, besides the fact that it's like, it's just a question you should know the answer to because you just made a documentary about this stuff.
Yeah, you're someone who's
and you
supposed
preach
to know
about
about
it
this subject.
every day. But he got fact-checked by Jamie saying, he's like, well, here, look at this. Over the past 5 years, 4,600.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it might be an undercount. And even Joe Rogan, he's like, that'd be one hell of an undercount. He's like, 1 million sounds good, huh? And telling him, and Matt Walsh, he's like, well, then, it's probably in the hundreds of thousands then. Bro, we just fucking told you.
Hundreds of thousands from
you're
4,500.
straight up wrong. You're wrong. You're lying. You're lying for profit. No, you're just lying for fear. Yeah,
you're lying for fun. It seems, or for whatever.
That's what naps are for. Lying for fun.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
He is cold, hollow, and violent.
After that joke, he is. Yeah.
Doug he's the real deal.
Oh yeah.
Mental illness is when you're right wing.
Okay, but
yeah. Matt Walsh. Yeah, that's what I mean in lacking any depth, because these people are not like this basic understanding that they have of things is like how they operate in the way that they're so basic that when they're faced with this new information, it just like bounces off of them. It's called the basic bounce principle, where they're not capable of actually like, yeah. They're not capable of anything like actually.
No, they're unwilling.
Them, or they're, and they're not capable of it because they don't want to be. That's like willful ignorance sort of thing. So they'll just, in the face of something like that, it's like a state of denial about anything that literally doesn't fit their narrative for like kind of the sentence that they're saying. It doesn't mean even the day it can shift from one to the next. Definitely over the years, you can watch Lindsey Graham, 1 year to the next, literally saying the exact opposite of what he said before.
Yeah.
So it's like there is no
because
there's no depth,
conservatism,
there's no values, there isn't anything to it. It's just it's stupid.
It's like that's why conservatism is a fucking mental disorder at this point. At least American conservatism. It's because it's the political equivalent. It's the political equivalent of a kid with occupational defiance disorder. That's what it is. I was going to say of a child. That's why they don't have solid platforms. That's why they are reactionary. There isn't anything there. Like it's just a stubborn child who doesn't want to learn. Like,
that's exactly how it feels. There is nothing there. There's nothing under the surface. It's reaction to whatever you're saying. They just want to be like, because they don't have any sort of depth. They can't understand that they could be wrong either. Like this weird like denial and arrogance and how it all goes together. Like they're just never wrong. Like a narcissist. That's why it's like a party of narcissism.
Yeah, and that's why they become the useful idiots for the people with strongly held conservative or right-wing beliefs that actually do think it through, because they are because it is used for wealth and power consolidation. Billionaires or the ways that large corporations can be run. It's like, because that makes sense for them if taken without any empathy in our capitalist system. But then they get to use the type of people to support them. They are the useful idiots, the way that the phrase truly is. Or they're just fucking idiots like Matt Walsh. But because that fucking brain disease that is conservatism lends itself so well to their means and like...
Yeah, because you know what conservatism is? It's a lack of critical thinking, because you're just keeping... That's what it... Like, okay, conservatism, like the word of it is like to conserve, like, and like traditions and all of those things. Keep doing things the same way. That is like the inherent ideology of a conservative. It's like anti-progressive.
Yeah.
So there is no
violent upholding of the
just,
status quo, let alone maybe even with even with a goal of regressing at some points. Obviously,
regressing to back when America was great, right?
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah. Back in the founding days when abortions were totally fine, by the way.
Yeah, and people own people. Come on! Back when America was... That was good.
Bro, this is such a funny take, dude.
Yeah, sure. So funny, Hassan. God.
Yeah, so funny when you have millions of dollars.
I need to see a dick.
Hassan.
Yeah, because socialism is when no Porsche, Hassan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like he doesn't even know what socialism is.
Yeah. I mean, he should have learned by now. Oh, where is this stupid thing? He should know that
socialism is when no car.
Yeah.
You know what?
It took me
Especially...
You know what?
You know what?
It took me too long to find that one because I have 62 sounds on the soundboard right now.
I think you need... Oh, you know what number I was?
Bitch.
Okay.
When I was calling in today to my socialist support thing, I was caller number 69.
No way, dude!
All right.
Did you take...
They were like, da-da-da-da, come on down.
They're like, you get 4 minutes and 20 seconds, bro.
Yeah. It's like, all right. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
So
you're like, why did you
pretty
give
much
the right winger before me 14 minutes and 88 seconds?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. They're like, well, it was 15 minutes and 28 seconds, but oh no.
Yeah. 88 seconds.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Well,
don't appeal to those people, Doug. Don't. What is it called? You're like coded messages to these people. Those people.
Dead air.
Okay. To those people that I want to give a good education and in diverse settings and give them some health care so that they have some upward social mobility. Oh, man, one of the last little back and forths I had on Twitter before I decided right here during the show that I'm going to stop using it was someone, I mean, just still purely believing in the American capitalist dogma. If no one will check me on that, because I'm not sure exactly how to use that word. But anyway,
I think that's
just saying, they're like, well, but still, capitalism has lifted so many people out of poverty, and you can go from poor to rich and stuff. And I was just like,
can you?
Yeah, and I said and they said something about only in America can you do this. I mean, and kind of an inane way of saying it, where you can tell it isn't just like a right-wing troll or anything. And I said, I'm sorry, but it's just not even true. Upward social mobility in America is not easily achieved, and lots of first world countries do better. And they said, what? Who? And I was like,
what?
I was
How
like,
old are you?
Australia, the United Kingdom, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, New Zealand, Iceland. I said, and I think there's about 25 countries ahead of us. And you know who has pulled way more people out of poverty than we have? China. And I don't like their policies, but facts are facts. And they actually, it was kind of a back and forth. They're like, well, yeah, I disagree, but you're right with that. And I was like, well, you know what? I hope you learned something. And then they followed me. And I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know what kind of person this is.
Productive conversation.
Like, maybe.
Someone who doesn't know much.
But
I think a lot
their
of
talking
it is
points, though, were, it seemed like they weren't someone so lost in the sauce, but it's so easy for that type of person to get the talking points fed to them that they believe as fact that are purely just right-wing capitalist propaganda. I mean, and
that's our entire education system, like you said in your economics class. Like that is not because they're right wing. It's because they're just a default American.
Yeah, it's just kind of, and it's the same kind of perspective that you have to see where people can't recognize like their own privilege by stemming from the fact that they're part of the default, so-called. It's like that's kind of what capitalism gets to enjoy, its privilege of being the default, so it's unquestioned, you know. But
I'm not really sure how people say it's like lifting people out of poverty. Then it's like, so why do 40% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck? That's a huge percentage.
Oh,
of
yeah.
people who are like a paycheck away. It's like, so what about capitalism is kind of like working for the majority of Americans? Just because 10 people can have obscene wealth that could never be spent in 100 lifetimes.
20 lifetimes, yeah, exactly.
That doesn't mean, that doesn't mean that it's like a working system. That seems like a flawed system where the majority of the people are not benefiting from it, and that is
are
just
missing out on the fruits of all this
true.
labor. Of this expansion of our economy and all of our wealth. It's like, sure, okay, we could say we're number one. Look at our GDP. It's like, who cares? Like, so what?
Like, who sees the benefit of it? It's like there's people literally dying in the streets. Like we have people that, like, literally their cause of death is just because they didn't have a home to live in. People die of exposure here in 2022.
It's all about what
the year of our Lord.
It's all about what we do with that wealth. And it's like, unfortunately, if you're working within this liberal system and just going towards social democracy or something, it's just about redistribution. And that's just the facts. You know, it's like, okay, average person, you know what? You say, I mean, maybe our economy takes off and we do well or something, and there's a lot of wealth in our country, but what do you want to be done with that wealth? Choose A, more like higher minimum wage and more housing, or B, 5 F-22 fighter jets. What do you, I mean, it's like, because, we've got a lot of wealth. Where is it all being spent? You know,
that
it's like,
thing you
do you want
about
more roads?
U.S. police force being the third.
God.
Oh my God! Of all the military spending in the world, U.S. police is number 3.
Yeah.
We have more police spending than India does on their entire military, and they have over 1 billion people in their country. That's unbelievable.
It's like this wealth. You know what? And you're right. This wealth is being redistributed no matter what. We're not ever going to live in some anarcho-capitalist libertarian hellscape
Don't
like
take
all
away
these
my dreams, Doug.
fucking pedophiles want to be in, you know.
Oh my
but
God,
like,
Jesus Christ. That is not what I imagined. Anarcho-communist.
Anarcho-capitalist.
That's not a reality. That's not possible.
That's what I'm saying. I said we're not going to be in that. So no matter what, there's going to be taxation and redistribution of wealth, even in our capitalist economy. It's like, but people get mad because of how they've been trained that redistributing wealth to people that don't have any wealth is a bad thing, but it's like it's being distributed somewhere else. Like you said, the people with all this money or these corporations can't just spend it on things, you know?
Unless they want to spend it on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I mean the wealth is being distributed into buying corporations and utilities or military hardware or, you know, all of this stuff. Yeah, it's like, and it could be, even without distributing it to the people, that could instead be roads and rail and energy projects and things like that.
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Like, baseline that other countries already have. Like, that's really what it comes down to me, that our baseline as Americans is so much lower, like a standard of living.
Yeah.
And again, just because we have TVs or a bunch of Oreos, or we have like a lot of material possessions, like it shows like our health is not better, our education is not better, like our well-being, mental well-being, we have a declining life expectancy rate, we have pretty high maternal mortality rates, like relative to some of these other countries. Like, it's just...
Yeah, the wild swing, the disparity. I mean, the disparity, just like it is in so many aspects of our economy. It's like, yeah, well, at the very bottom, it's like, yeah, you could have like zero benefits and, you know, no universal health care. But at the top end, it's like, oh, only in America could there be such a thing as the Los Angeles Lakers. They're worth $8 billion. It's like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, is that a good thing? Yeah. If you live in an economy, I guess America is an example of, is a good example. Like if you want that kind of power or whatever comes with stock markets, I guess. But it doesn't really, you know, that's not meaningful to actual human beings that are real, while, you know, all this money and stuff is like not real. There's a
thing.
Like people like
and you know what, but it is real, and that's what makes it even worse, and how the owner class has made it make it a part of our lives. So the only reason that we allow these things to continue to be part of our lives is because it has been made into something that can be taken away. So like I had a discussion with my neighbor, and he was even talking about how disillusioned he's become. I don't know if he's a Trump guy, but he was a lifelong Democrat, and he is no longer. And we even talked about it, and I said, I totally understand, because of how they don't do anything for you for the working class, because it's not union stuff. And so, and the biggest thing that I definitely always steer the conversation with people to something that we can agree on, so I don't have to have a political debate in someone's yard. But it's like, yeah, Democrats and Republicans, he said the biggest problem is, you know, the stock market. He's like, it tanks and stuff. This is people's retirement. It's their lives, because we don't have pensions anymore. It's all in your 401k. And that's just an example of exactly how tangible this can be to you, because it's shifted towards this capitalist imagination land where your life, like your retirement, is in the stock market. I am lucky because I'm a millennial who bought a house. Like, not everyone can do that. And I only stumbled into it. Like, I mean, it's just, and that's what I even said. I was like, yeah, because just like any of them, they're not representing us or giving a single damn about our retirement. He's even like, yeah, he's like, the Democrats, they don't do anything to help, like to actually help the stock market, which makes sense. It's like they're, you know, at the face kind of the you know, against big business, even though they're not. The Democrats aren't helping the stock market. That hurts you because your retirement's in there, or, you know, that's how you're saving money for college that should be free, and yada yada. And then the Republicans want to make sure that you're in the stock market, want to make sure you don't have a union, and make sure you don't have a pension. So everything's hinging on that. And so they just have you by the balls constantly.
That's why I jump into anti-capitalist stuff really quickly with people. It's not political, where I'm like, it's just money. I was like, that's the problem with all of it.
That's what I said from the left. And I said, I'm never, ever going to vote GOP because I think it's that much worse. But I said, from the leftist position that I usually take, I was like, that's exactly what's wrong with the Democrats, is that it isn't for the working class. It's all for capital ownership. And he's like, yeah, well, yeah, that's true. He's like, there's no pensions anymore. He's like, I don't know how. Oh, yeah, he said, he's like, yeah, the Democrats aren't going to do anything good for the economy itself, where your pension is, or I mean, where your 401k is. He's like, and if you want Social Security, then the Republicans are going to raise the age that you can even get it. And he says, you know, average lifespan for a man in America is 72 years, and they want to raise the Social Security or retirement age to 70. Yeah. I was like, exactly.
Literally,
they just want you to work your entire life. Yeah.
And you say on top of that, it's like maybe Democrats, blah, 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 stock market or whatever, and business as usual, but at least they're not actively hateful.
Oh, yeah.
like a group, and it's
but
like
I'm
that's
saying
what you can of course.
Those tangible things to just a random guy who even knows that he's had good luck and all this and that, but it's like this is a real effect of not just how crappy the Democrats are, but how our system is set up to end up in this position where someone like him, whose entire family and even him, like, are Democrats, working class. Yeah. Some of them are in unions and stuff like that for their entire life. But we get now to 2022, late stage capitalism has corrupted the Democratic Party so much that they're no longer the working class party like we were talking about half an hour ago.
There is no working class party.
That it's like... That's
why I got this newspaper.
Yeah, and you know what? Then if there's no party to represent working class economic interests, then all you have to go on is culture war stuff. So, and that's so easy to twist people's minds on through the politics of fear and propaganda and stuff like that. Exactly. All you have to do is, if you're just a retired white guy, suddenly you've watched Tucker Carlson a couple of times and you're a Republican now. Like, because neither class is looking out for your actual moneyed interests, you know, or your quality of life. Anger. Yeah, your quality of life. And so the only political avenues are through culture and trash like that.
And, like, Fox News appeals to people because it is angry, because people are angry, because look at our fucking government. And the Democrats are so, like, oh
my God.
You know,
the fact that a guy like Chuck fucking Schumer, I think that's how he talks. I think that's, like, his politics is...
Yeah. It's like, what is appealing about that? Not that, I mean, I don't want to, like, have anything dumbed down or whatever, but that's like Obama brought some fucking passion to the Democratic Party, which should be the party of all the celebrities. Everybody's like, this is like the party of actual, like, human rights, and, like, I mean, we're like, it should be all the passion behind it.
It should be organic.
Trying to do the right. Yeah, is this party organic? Trying to do the right thing.
It's not.
But it's corporate. It's really easy to go towards anger and hate, and that's what I learned from Star Wars. Mm-hmm. But that's unsustainable, though.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Exactly. We've all seen
it. Don't quote me on that, though.
Why are we doing it?
I'm sure that quote is perfectly right. But once
you've wasted another hour of your time
just so you could learn that
democracy simply doesn't work.
But when you should just be learning that
drugs are fun.
I learned that lesson real quick.
Yeah, it's easy to learn. Okay, well, I'm just fired up, man. I just can't wait until 2024. No, but I mean, it's like, just when people are, like, discussing politics or trying to be civil or wondering whether they should vote, just think of my daughter. Not your own kids. I don't give a fuck about them. No. But it's like
about those little crap
heads. Or your kids or your niece or something. Like, come on, man. Like Joe Biden said, come on, man. Like, seriously, that's Chapo even said that years ago during the campaign or something. Like, that should just be his campaign slogan, because it's true. Yeah. Just an exasperated, just come on, man. Like,
I agree.
But well, we'll just hear a bunch more from Ron DeSanctimonious. We didn't go over that, but I think that Trump should just go out on the road and constantly hammer
and get into a car accident.
Yeah, Oh, we'll just wrap this up by saying, did you see Ted Cruz get hit in the head with a beer bottle in a parade?
No, but I'm going to look that up as soon as we're done here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was R.M. Brown showed it in today's Patreon video.
I haven't watched it.
I think that's right in the beginning. Yeah, it's the good old, like, dog dick, dip nut, Democrat, corporate shill Chris Hayes from MSNBC had a tweet today like, this is not acceptable, it's not funny, this is never the answer. And we're like, fuck that. I hope that he gets rained down with beer bottles and fucking batteries anytime he comes out in public. He's the one going... He's the one who's a politician riding down the street in an open top in Texas. What do you think's gonna happen? No, don't anyone take anything from this. Yeah, it's like, and if you want, to know what I'm referring to, just go to the book depository.
Yikes!
I mean, library. No.
So, and Mike, when is it acceptable for us to get upset that leaders, like Ted Cruz, like letting people die a couple years ago in his home state, not letting, okay, whatever, it's like he switched off the power, but what is their responsibility to us?
Even without that, just lying and trying to go on vacation.
Up on some, and like being up on this, like in this position where they're like, we can't be mad at them ruining our lives. Like, is that what you're saying, Chris?
Yeah.
Like, that people in Germany should have been, like, more calm with the Nazis and stuff and, like, try to talk it out or whatever. Or are some hateful people, like, they're not reasonable, they're not responding. Maybe something will snap them out of their stupor, but I don't know.
It makes me wonder, it's like, well, this isn't the way. It's like, well, I mean, voting isn't doing enough because the most hated man in Congress still has a job. His name is Ted Cruz. And
everyone hates
him.
And
it's like, and it just makes me wonder, it's like, well, for the people of Texas, like, I really wonder, when was the last time Ted Cruz had, like, a town hall? When was the last time he talked to constituents? I mean, it's like,
God.
I don't know. People, like, should be throwing things and just yelling
the N-word
at Ted Cruz, at 10 Cruz. Like,
10,
he's
that's
just
what they call him,
like,
'cause he's a
he's
10.
parading down the street as a literal example of the failures of our democracy manifest in human form. Like, he's a piece of shit.
He deserves nothing.
Yeah.
Nazis deserve healthcare. You know what Ted Cruz deserves?
He's already dead.
No, keep going.
Yeah.
What does he deserve?
Nothing.
That booger on his lip that he ate during a debate.
It's like, because when is it, like, when are these people, like, when do they get held accountable? Hitler didn't go into these gas chambers. He wasn't in the firing squad and all that, but we can understand that his actions, his words, they were the driving force behind a cultural shift and stuff. These people's words have fucking power.
Yeah.
Their decisions affect people's lives, and they should be held to a much, 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 much fucking higher standard than anybody, because they affect hundreds of millions, if not billions of people.
It's their
If
job
you're in the U.S. federal
to
government,
use words.
Your policies affect the world.
Yeah. It's like, that's their entire job, is words. With friends
So
on
it doesn't
Facebook
kind of matter,
while they
like,
should
what
be
they're
voting.
fucking saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kick Ted Cruz's ass at that all the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He's just keeps... It's just all from Green Eggs and Ham, which is the only book that he read when he was filibustering.
He's ever read.
Yeah. Booger Lips Ted. Okay, no, let's wrap it up.
Booger Lips Cruz.
We're getting near the end of my the time allotted
Mine
that
too.
I put in Garage Band, Carhole Band.
Garage Band.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, bye.
Shout out Ted Cruz. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out R.M. Brown, our Lord and Savior.
Never. Yes,
we love
our Lord
him.
and Savior.
And
we love him.
And also, just to wrap this up, I'll just say
the N-word.
No, just kidding.
That went slightly better than the worst it could have possibly gone.
Yeah, because it could have been worse. Okay, I love you.
It could have been a lot worse. I love you too. Bye.
Bye.